Oh, I saw it. Oh my god! How was the critical timing of that?
Alrighty guys, we've pulled up to a pretty nice island. The island we're on, there's a fair bit of whiting and bream, which like worms.
These things.
I don't know, here. So I thought I'd show you guys how to catch some worms. The first thing we need to get is some pippies. So while we drive along the beach, you can see little mounds in the sand. I'll show you here. Just like this. Yeah, there's a few around. So like, look, there's another one here. Another little mound there. So you just dig them up.
Oh, what? Oh shit.
Yes.
It's a pippi.
The pippies we need for, that's what the worms actually eat when you're trying to get them out of the sand. Worms like to live in these areas, so around in these wet areas. On the low tide's the best time to do them. And when that water's receding, like where it recedes there, that's when they pop their heads up. They're trying to get any nutrients that are floating past in that receding water. They like to be on the sandbanks in between two gutters usually.
Yeah.
And they're not too far under the sand. You can dig them up with your hands.
Oh, he's
Squirted.
she squirted.
To catch some worms, you probably only need 2-3 pippies, depending how many of you are worming. You only need one per person. So 3 will be plenty for us to get some worms. So we need pippies for the worms to eat, but you also need some old fish bait, like a bait bag with some old fish heads or fish skeletons in them, and that way the worms don't pop their heads up until they smell food. Yeah, so we'll go get that as well. And now we just need an outgoing tide, and then we can go catch some worms. Alrighty guys, so beach worms are usually on your open beaches. They're pretty hard to spot if you don't have an eye out for them. You got to have some fish bait, so something I prepared earlier. A fish bag with old fish skeleton, fish heads. You want it in a tie-off bag. This thing attached at the end that can either go around a star picket or around your leg. Super handy. So you want a bucket to put your worms in. Yeah, we've got low tide, beautiful day. No weed in the water, which is good. They often don't like weed. They are quite hard to catch, but there's a little technique to it, so I'll try and show you. Just need a little bit of water in the bucket for the worms. Documentary of worms. The worms eat pippies, but you need to crack them open with the shell. So you can just slam it on the ground or a rock.
Get it? Oh.
Kind of look like a mussel or something.
Can you eat that?
Yeah, you can eat this. The Aboriginals used to eat heaps of pippies here. You can see massive
Heaps of that.
yeah, heaps of pippy pile shells of pretty pippies.
Yeah.
You just want to start getting the smell of fish. You need that fishy smell to attract them to start getting them to start poking their heads up. Frozen. Let them latch on. And then when they pull up, you pull the sand forward. And the trick is you want to try and start getting that sand really dry. So this is what the head looks like. Can you see that guys?
Oh, I saw it. Oh my god! How was the critical timing of that? There was literally a wave.
Pretend it's under the sand, but a little head will poke out.
Yeah.
Like that. So pretend that's under sand, and only this little head will poke out. And so that's where you want to get the pippy, and it feeds on the pippy. you'll see the worms do this movement. They go up and then they pull it down to try and break it off, and then they keep doing that, keep going up, down, and so when he's going up, when he's I can't hold on to two things at once, but yeah, so when he's going up, that's when you want to get a finger under here.
Oh, under the sand.
And a thumb on top. So that you're getting like, I don't know if you can see this, but like,
yeah,
so you're getting one, say that's the worm,
yeah,
you're getting one
it.
under and one on top, so you've got it quite a good grip. So yeah, each time it comes up, you're going to go under there, over on top, and all the sand that's around you, you want to like push it up, and it dries the sand out, and so worms can't move in dry sand. So yeah, each time it comes up, you want to push the sand further and further up, and then when you think you've got a good grasp, you just grab it with those two there, and bring it up. Yeah, we'll put that one in.
Is that a big one? What's that in length? Like, is that standard?
This is probably a medium one. You get some like maybe 1.5 times of meat.
That's pretty solid.
You can tell by their heads, like if their heads look really small and thin, it's usually a baby, but the thicker, broader heads.
What do you do now with it?
Chuck it in the bucket, and that should keep it alive for a couple of days.
With water in there. Oh.
Yeah, so that's the way to keep fresh worms. Yeah, if you want to store them, I'll show you how to do that later. Just get a couple more worms.
Whoa! What? How's that?
Yeah, another one. See how that sand's starting to dry out? It's still there. So, I know you can see like the sand drying out, you push them up. He's pretty small, so he's a baby, so you probably want to put him back. Like, you can see how thin that is, and it's quite hard to put onto a hook. But you get places, I've done it on the Gold Coast before, and they're really fat but short worms. So they're more mature, but they're thin, but they're quite thick.
Little chode, eh?
Yeah.
Love our chode.
Alright guys, so I'm going to show you the next part on how to store the worms. You want a container to put them in. Just your normal takeaway containers work great. So the secret to keeping them really hard and firm in the long run is salt. Normally you get a lot of beach worms that are just dusted over with soft sand, and you'll find they can get quite easily breakable, very flimsy when you go to unfreeze them and you're trying to hook them back up. Alright, so you want to get the worms, and you just want to nick off the end of their tail so the salt can make its way through. You go through and do that on all your worms. Just chuck all them into the container. Just give it another sprinkle on top. Yeah, so you want to leave that for about 12 hours or overnight, and that allows the salt to go set into the worm and really ferment it up. And then I'll show you what to do next. Alright, now for the last part for the worms, we need to put a bit of dry sand on them. I just gotta go find some dry sand. The high tide made all the sand quite hard, so there's a little dune next to it. I'll get some soft sand from there. I've got the worms that have been salted from overnight, and if you feel them, they'll actually be quite firm now, which is awesome when you go to try and thread the worm back on later. The only place I've found soft sand is up on this sand dune. I don't know if you guys can see in the background, but there's an awesome storm about to roll through. But yeah, so you just want to get some dry sand, sprinkle that on top, press and see how. Alex is literally good at anything he tries to do, and the only thing I can bring to the table is catching worms. And then use for later. Yeah, if you've got any questions on worms, or if you have any extra cool tips I don't know about, just let us know. But before this storm comes